Hi, my name is Rosie from Rosie's Online Piano Studio. I'm making a series of videos to help my students prepare for their theory exams. I hope you enjoy these. If there are any logical steps that I may have missed out on, questions that you have, do let me know and I'll try to address those. Today we're going to start with the circle of fifths. The circle of fifths is really a map of the music universe. It's absolutely fantastic, and this is what I love about theory. Theory always makes sense. Theory is based on patterns and patterns of steps and skips, and it just always makes sense. Let's get started. Here is the circle of fifths. So the circle of fifths is, like I said, the map of our music world. It has all of the major keys and all of the minor keys that we're going to use. Now you might ask me what a key is. This is not an easy question to answer. Basically it comes down to the steps and skips that a piece is written in. So for example, if a piece is written in the key of C major, it's going to be based on the scale of C, and it's going to have no black keys. I am going to do a video next about scales, which would be helpful to understand exactly what a scale is. I'm not going to go into that too much further right now, but every key has its own feeling. G, E. You get the drift. Now to make a scale major, we have to follow certain steps and skips, and that's what I'm going to do in the next video. But if we do that, we come to the logical conclusion that C major has no sharps or flats. Now here we have to talk about a very important word. This is a word that my students love to forget. It's the word a key signature. Now if you look at a piece, every piece at the beginning has the clefs, treble clef, bass clef on the staff. They have the time signature, but between the clef and the time signature, it has flats or sharps or maybe nothing. That is called the key signature. Learn that word, don't forget it. It's one of the most important words that you can know in music theory. Anyway, the key signature is basically our little map of what our scale is going to look like. These are our major keys around the outside and our minor keys on the inside. And how the circle of fifth works, and heaven knows who figured this out because it's quite wonderful, is we start here with C major at the top. C has no sharps or flats. And then we go to the right with an interval of a fifth. An interval of a fifth, C, D, E, F, G. C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we get from C to G. Then we go from G and we take an interval of a fifth, G, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we get to D, and so on and so forth. And it works the other way too. C, B, A, G, F, going backwards by an interval of a fifth. So all the way around we have intervals of a fifth. At the top we start with no sharps or flats for the key signature. As we go to the right, we add 1 sharp per key, and to the left, 1 flat per key. And then feel free to go and explore and see if this is correct. But that is an outline of all the keys that we have in piano. On the inside, you'll see the minor keys. Now this is very important. There is 1 major key per key signature and 1 minor key per key signature. We call the minor key the relative minor of the major key, and the major is the relative major of the minor key. This is very important. There is only one minor key with no sharps, and that is A minor. There is only one major key with no sharps, and that's C major. Now you're going to ask me right away, well, what about these guys down here? Oh my goodness, there's an F sharp and a G flat. These two scales, if you were to play them on the piano, are exactly the same. They just look completely different. I like to say to my students, we call these enharmonic equivalents. That's like saying that your first name might be Anne and your second name might be Emma, but they both refer to the same person. I'll talk about that again another time. Another important thing to know about key signatures is that they are always in the same order. This is how they're always going to be. The F sharp is always going to be up here. It's not going to be down here. It's not, the B is always going to be here. It's not going to be down here or up there. Now we have a silly little rhyme, and students don't love this rhyme, but they are yet to come up with something better. We have a little rhyme that helps us remember the order of the sharps, and that is Father Charles goes down and ends battle. Not exactly grammatically correct. Too bad. It works. If you have one sharp, it will always be F sharp. It'll be the same in the treble clef as it is in the bass clef. If you have two sharps, it'll be F sharp and C sharp. And this is wonderful for sight reading. I remember as a child trying to figure out every single one of the sharps, and it was so hard and everything seemed so random. It's not. If you have one sharp, it's F sharp. If you have two, it's F sharp and C sharp, and so on and so forth. The flats also have their own order. This is how you write them. And it's our rhyme going backwards. Battle ends and down goes Charles's father. So if you have one flat, it's B flat. If you have two, it's B flat and E flat, and so on and so forth. I am going to go on one more step. I'm going to talk about major keys and knowing which ones have sharps and which ones have flats. Basically, first of all, you need to know that there are two exceptions to what I'm going to tell you. First of all, C major has no sharps or flats, and F major has a B flat. Let's continue. If the name of the key has no sharp or flat in its name, it's going to have a sharp. D has sharps, E has sharps, G major has sharps, A major has sharps, B has sharps. There are only two sharp majors, F sharp and C sharp major. If a key has a flat in its name, it's going to have flats. B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and C flat. There is no F flat. We're not going to talk about that right now. So, to summarize, if I have C major, no sharps or flats. If I have F major, it has a B flat. Let's test that. How about E major? E, does that have a sharp in the name? No, just E. Okay, it's going to have sharps. How about A flat major? Well, A flat major has a flat in its name, so it's going to have flats. That is a very small introduction to keys. We've talked about the circle of fifths and how that works. Some people memorize the circle of fifths. I am going to teach you another way to knowing which sharps or flats are in a key. That'll come in a few videos from now. The circle of fifths is actually very handy to have around if you want to improvise or play with chords. Don't forget a key signature right at the beginning of the staff next to the clef. That tells us which sharps and flats we're going to have. There's only one major key and one minor key per key signature, and we have a set order of sharps and flats. In the next video, I'm going to be looking at the scales of the major key. Then I will be looking at scales of minor keys. And then I believe I'll be looking at relative majors and minors. And after that, we will start delving into how to establish which sharps or flats are in each key. I love this stuff. If you have any questions, please let me know. Other than that, enjoy exploring this universe of ours that always makes sense in a world that does not. Have a lovely day.